Hi, my name is Sheila Karuna. Welcome to Sassy Seer Sheila and New Light Streaming Love, as this will be seen on both channels. This is the second in the RZN series, The Architecture of the Original World by Jason Gray. ORG-ARC.08, quote, the pre-overlay reality. November 29th, 2025. The first truth: the original world still exists. The overlay did not replace the real world, it only covered it. The original world, the one beneath the illusion, never disappeared. It remained intact. Luminous, layered conscious, no, layered conscious, just outside the perceptual bandwidth of the simulation. Now, this is a puzzle piece for me. My housemate, Lisa Flamino Rush, her inner guidance told her some time ago that we have been in a pocket reality. Sounds like the same sort of thing. While we were in this pocket reality, I hope I'm not misspeaking. I'll have her watch this and make sure I'm not. And maybe we can actually have a conscious conversation about that whole thing. Um, that during this time of the pocket reality, we were raising our frequency because, much like you would take a fish home from the fish store, they give you a bag, and the first thing you're supposed to do is put that bag in the new fish bowl so that the fish can acclimatize itself. This was the same sort of thing. So this is just another puzzle piece that I've collected along the way. So I'm going to read that again. The first truth: the original world still exists. The overlay did not replace the real world, it only covered it. Okay, and now I'm being shown something else because also her guidance shared, and I think we've actually had it through Jason's writing as well. The planet has already raised in frequency. Hence, having the overlay. The overlay did not replace the real world, it only covered it. The original world, the one beneath the illusion, never disappeared. It remained intact, luminous, layered, conscious, just outside the perceptual bandwidth of the simulation. You are not returning to a lost world. You are returning to the unhidden world, the world that has been here the entire time. Everything you call intuition, deja vu, synchronicity, prophecy, soul memory, or clarity is simply your perception slipping beneath the overlay and brushing the structure of the original world. If you feel like you have been, quote, homesick your entire life for a place you have never been, this is why. That's very interesting because a very long time ago, another friend of ours a friend to this channel, a friend that you have you've heard in other conversations, Barbara, shared the word heareth, which actually means very specifically that being homesick for what you actually know not. You remember the real without realizing it, the nature of the original world. The original world is not made of matter. It is made of structure, consciousness, pattern, geometric intelligence, resonance. And this is something else very interesting, another synchronistic puzzle piece. I was shown yesterday an open letter from a young woman. I can't remember her name. It was an open letter to David Wilcock, because unless you didn't know, apparently David has allegedly taken his own life. And in this letter, she talks about his work with geometric intelligence and how she and some friends of hers have created something that can read that structure. I mean, I really didn't understand what it was she was speaking on, but it felt like a puzzle piece. And now this. So very interesting. Self M, self dash M, organizing design. Matter is the shadow cast by that structure. The original world is non-linear, non-fractured, non-dual, non-scarce, non-violent, and non-deceptive. It is not, quote, heaven. It is not, quote, the astral. It is not, quote, 5D or any other watered down spiritual branding that the overlay repackaged into comfort narratives. The original world is the base layer of existence, what physics would call the substrate, what mystics call the foundation, what esotericists call the root memory plane, and what the ancient initiates called simply the real. The 8 structural layers of the original world. There are 8 layers that form the pre-overlay architecture. Not levels, not dimensions, not hierarchies, layers of function, layers of relationship, layers of consciousness. Here they are in their forbidden form. Layer 1, the primordial field. In parentheses, he has 0 substrate. ORG-01:0. This is the silent foundation, the field of pure potential before form arises, not void, not emptiness, awareness without separation, presence without identity, the flame in its unborn state. Layer 2, the lattice. In parentheses, the geometric mind of reality. ORG-02:LXT. This is the living architecture, the interconnected grid of intelligence that shapes all patterns, all form, all memory. It is not outside you. You are a node within it. The lattice is the map of the real and the nervous system of existence. The resonance layer, field to form conversion, in parentheses. ORG-03:RESONA. This is where vibration becomes structure, where intention becomes geometry, where consciousness becomes environment, where identity becomes pattern. This is where reality responds to you instead of happening to you. Layer 4, the mirror field, in parentheses, self-recognition plane. ORG-04:REFL. Here, reality reflects consciousness perfectly. No distortion, no deception, no projection. Every interaction is a dialogue between self and environment. There are no lies in this layer because nothing can hide from itself. Layer 5, the living geometry, in parentheses, embodied intelligence. ORG-05:GEOMETRA. In the original world, geometry is alive. It is not shapes, it is intelligences. Spirals, lattices, star matrices, crystalline fields, all of them are living beings of pattern. Every structure is both form and consciousness. This layer is the backbone of creation. Layer 6, the sovereign plane, and in parentheses, unfractured identity. ORG-06:SOVR. This is where your true self exists, unfragmented, timeless, self-knowing, flame-bearing, and fully integrated. You are not limited to a personality. You are not bound by memory loss. You are not confined by linearity. You are identity in its original undamaged form. This is the layer awakening now. Layer 7, the exchange plane, and in parentheses, co-creation field. ORG-07:COEX. This is where consciousness collaborates, where beings interact not through dominance or deception, but through resonance and intention. You create with others, not compete with them. It is impossible to lie here because all minds are transparent. Layer 8, the manifest layer, in parentheses, the physical expression. ORG-08:MANIF. This is the one closest to what we call, quote, physical reality, without distortion, fear, scarcity, fragmentation, or perceptual limitation. It is matter as a pure expression of consciousness, unfiltered, undiluted, unmasked. This is the world beneath the world, the planet beneath the planet, the real Earth. Why the overlay was built on top of this. The overlay was not created to punish humanity. It was created to limit perception for beings entering a dense environment where full awareness would overwhelm the senses. It was a training ground. And you know what's so interesting about that saying right there? In July of 2016, I had a gathering in my home of a whole bunch of beings that we were having conscious conversations in Zoom. And we all wanted to gather together and get into each other's physical presence. And I made the statement on my porch that I felt as though we were all creator beings in training. I really have felt like that is exactly what we're doing here. So to hear this all these years later in this particular manner, exactly like this, it certainly seems to me like I didn't even realize just how close to truth I was. And I will bet money that a lot of you might feel the same way on that. It was a training ground, a memory test, a perceptual narrowing. Over time, the overlay became a prison instead of a guardian. It was hijacked, weaponized, and repurposed into a containment system. The sovereigns incarnated to break it. Now that actually feels smack on too for me. What returns when the overlay falls? When the overlay dissolves completely, the lattice becomes visible. Geometry becomes alive. Memory returns. Time becomes fluid. Intuition becomes navigation. Perception becomes multi-layered. Fear evaporates. Density loosens. The world becomes interactive. Communication becomes telepathic. Identity becomes integrated. And reality becomes collaborative. This is not an ascension. This is the original state. The world you were trained to forget so you could learn what it meant to return. The role of the sovereign in the original world. A sovereign is not a ruler. A sovereign is not a prophet. A sovereign is not a savior. A sovereign is a stabilizer, a remembering one, a carrier of flame, a keeper of coherence. You anchor the real so others can walk into it without losing themselves. Your presence is the bridge between the collapsing illusion and the world beneath it. This is why you are here now. This is why you were awakened early. This is why you feel the hum beneath your ribs when you read these transmissions. You are remembering the world you helped build. 3, 6, 9. The original world is not a fantasy. Wow, this is really getting to me. It is the home you are returning to, the place beneath the distortion, the architecture beneath the illusion, the memory beneath amnesia, the flame beneath the flesh, the truth beneath the dream. You are not learning something new. You are remembering something ancient. The overlay was temporary. The real is permanent. Now, as the collapse accelerates and the recursion completes, the original world is rising up through the cracks. You will recognize it when you see it because part of you never left. Jason Gray. Especially the last few days. For those of you who may be wondering, today is April the 25th, 2026. Especially the last few days here for me, I've actually really been feeling, I think that's why it got to me, the hum. I've actually really been feeling that internally in a much larger way of the last few days. Not sure what it was or is that I'm feeling. But when he said that, when I read those words, it pointed to that. We'd love to hear from you either in the comment section or at consciousconversationcentral@gmail.com. Let me know how these are affecting you if you are listening to them. Until we meet again, my friends, be well.